Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Picnics, barbecues, wiffle ball games. I still remember playing wiffle ball in my backyard for years and years and years. Hours by the pool, maybe even an outdoor family wedding. Those are all great things you can do in the summer, but they're also a feast for mosquitoes. So kill them. That's what I like to do. Kill those mosquitoes by calling Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Ask about their brand new mosquito treatments, better for the environment, worse for skeeters. Bob Hodge, the only skeeter you want to see in your yard is a bass boat, is my guess.
Go to Madisonville Marine.
That's another ad.
There you go.
We're encroaching on Southeast ad, though. Okay, welcome. Come on back. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Get out and see them at southeasttermite.com. Right here, you heard me talking to him. Bob Hodge, longtime member of this panel. Bob, thanks for being here.
Good morning.
All right. I mentioned going to break. This Tennessee team has already done something this year that it didn't do last year. And I'm not talking about the World Series. I'm talking about the fact they made friends rather than enemies. And I don't mean that in an ugly way, but it is what it is. After the Southern Miss victory, Tennessee's doing their celebration. And they stop when the legendary coach for USM walks out, tips his cap to the crowd. It's his last game. He's retiring. Tennessee's players stop their celebration, applaud him, tip their caps. It was in tons of news video this week. It was written about in darn near every story. It was talking about the class Tennessee showed. And you actually made a friend out of former NFL quarterback, former Southern Miss quarterback, Brett Favre. I speak for all Southern Miss fans. I'm sure they appreciate that, not knowing what's coming next from Brett Favre. I speak for them all when I say we are so proud of Coach, blah, 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 blah. And our fans, top 10 attendance yet again, et cetera, et cetera. Hats off to the Vols and great show of class and respect to Coach Berry after the game. Now go win it. Bob, I know you. You loved last year's villainous.
Yes.
You wish they had flipped.
I went out and bought my
bird.
own daddy hat.
There you go. I know you were probably hoping you should flip that other coach off. It's funny, though. Show a little class, gain a lot of fans.
You know, I thought last year all the people that loved what Tennessee baseball was doing, I thought it was crap. I don't like it. Don't like that kind of thing. Don't like it from any team I cheer for. You know, why this doesn't strike people as better, I don't get. But I think as part of being a fan, a lot of people, whatever my team does, I will cheer for it because that is my team. So you want to be a bunch of jerks, you're my team, be jerks. You got a lot of class, you're my team, I appreciate the class. So I think it is. I just never got into that stuff last year. I just don't like it.
Well, a lot of teams do the showboating stuff. I just wonder how many Tennessee fans who defended Tennessee baseball last year and said it's fun, it's bringing in new fans, said the same about Oklahoma softball this year. I'm guessing, now that was different. Those girls that was over the top, what we did. And part of it was not the players, it was the fan base with the T-shirts saying classless versus Catholics, who never got it that Notre Dame made those Catholics versus convict shirt. They were mocking Miami. Miami didn't print the T-shirts mocking themselves. But you had that. You had flipping bats and birds. Why wouldn't you want to do this? This makes people like you. I like being liked as opposed to being unliked, or disliked, or unliked. I hate being unliked on Twitter. But Vince, I know this kind of stuff annoys you because you see those guys and you know they're good guys. But if this is the only thing that the national media is seeing, they don't know they're good guys. I've seen so many people last year talk about, well, they throw pitches with kids after games. Nobody's seeing that. Right. This is where you put your best foot forward. I would rather put my best foot forward. I thought this was class. Doesn't mean the guys are different, just means they handle it differently. I would rather have people like me, wouldn't you?
For sure. And I think it last year evolved just because of the personalities on the team. This year it evolved because of the personalities on this year's team. Not to say that there weren't classic guys on last year's team and there are this year.
Huge generalities.
Right. But it's not Tony Vitello said, we're going to do this year, and then now this year we're going to do this year. It's because he gives those guys the rope to be if they earn it and they put in the work. And obviously, I think I said it before the year. They're a completely different type of guys on this year's team.
And I credit you. I asked you that on this show last year, and you said that it's going to be a different team. I'm not worried about it being a thing. In my head, I'm thinking he's crazy because these guys are being recruited, and they're the crazy stuff has appealed to them, so they're going to do it. But you nailed it. It is a different personality. It's not Tony Vitello naturally leading him. It's just he lets it go where it goes. Right. Will, your thoughts on this?
I think that was part of the personality of the team last year. I think that Jordan Beck, got to know him a little bit through some NIL training we did through UT. That's just who he is. This is a guy that motivates himself by talking smack. We're both Celtics fans, right? Kevin Garnett was a guy that won a championship for the Celtics, did not stop running his mouth the entire game, right, from beginning to end. I think Jordan Beck was that guy. I think Drew Gilbert's that guy. So I think this Tennessee team, though, just has a different personality. I also think part of it is Tony Vitello. He mentioned it before that last team believed in their own hype when they got there the time before. This time the team didn't have time to believe in their own hype. But I think part of it, too, was Tony Vitello, when you're that young and that talented like Vitello is, I do think there's going to be some on-the-job learning.
Yeah, he's learning it, too.
And I think that he's learned that, hey, maybe this isn't the best thing for our guys to be these kinds of dudes. Not about what the public perception is necessarily, but just about them believing in their own hype a little bit too much. Let's be more workmanlike with this.
And being everybody's target.
Yes.
And that added to it last year.
Yeah, you make everybody get fired up when you come to town or when they see you on a bracket.
Including potential rule changes with them being so sensitive with umpires.
Yep.
Last week after they beat Southern Miss, went to the Athletic, was reading a story. Under that story, not anything Tennessee fans, other fans were coming in there and saying, great, I now have the team I know I get to cheer against in the College World Series. Now, this wasn't...
Based on last year.
Based on last year,
Yeah.
exactly. It was based on what they did last year, and it was... I just don't see why the target thing, and I agree, don't put the target on your back. I just think that's smart. And I mean, and this isn't directed against the Tennessee baseball team per se. I don't like it when the Vikings have these
Right.
little touchdown celebrations. I don't like that in anything. Call me a curmudgeon.
Well, I just think it's funny that, they were talking about this with the Oklahoma softball team. And I was reading the quotes from their coach. And Monica Abbott was quoted, I believe it was her quote, where she said, this is good for the game. We need people to celebrate the individual achievement. We need to celebrate a sacrifice fly. And my first thought was, if you have to psych yourself up by whipping hats and doing a dance on a sacrifice fly, your sport's not worth the
Exactly.
price of admission, first of all.
Exactly.
I mean, do you not? I come for a sport. I don't need the show. Give me the sport. So if you've got a, wow, great bunt, now do a dance. I don't need the bunt dance, but that's just me. I
don't need dances either.
But I will give, if it's a normal celebration, all for it. But celebrating a bunt to me seems a bit nonsensical. If you've got to fire yourself up to go out and play softball or baseball, you can't play unless you're doing that. Come on.
I think that there in the new age of media right now, there's so much competition for eyeballs that those things really do bring new eyeballs
Yeah.
to the table, right?
Yeah.
Now the question is it worth it? Is it worth it to get a really liberal strike zone from the home plate umpire because he doesn't like all of that stuff, to bring in an extra 50,000 fans that are watching your game on television? I just don't know that it is.
But either way, kudos to this team for showing class down there at Southern
Yes.
Miss, and they got rewarded for it because people all over the country, liked it and they commented on it. You saw people say, "Well, the media media always hypes on us, jumps on us when we're doing something bad." Nope, this time they jumped on you for doing something good. And it was all over the country. So kudos to them. Bob, quick.
Last thing, I don't mind celebrating something really to celebrate. I guess what gets under my skin, and once again, football reference, a guy makes a tackle 5 yards down after a 5-yard gain for the running back and gets up celebrating. No. I don't mind celebrating some really good stuff.
What about a Kamal Haddon who likes to talk?
Yeah, after he gave up his 15-yard reception.
All right, when we come back, the SEC released the 2024 football opponents lists this week. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about Tennessee's next schedule for next year. That's next on the Sports Source. A lot of nexts.